What's up, everybody? We'll give it a couple minutes here, get everybody in, and then we will start tonight's forecast discussion on the potential ice event. Well, it's a likely ice event, potential ice storm that's in the making right now. I'm going to let everybody get in here. Um, I already see some comments like, "Oh my goodness, enough already." I know it just keeps going, doesn't it? This one actually caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting an ice event. This is actually like in my backyard too, so I won't have to go far tomorrow to document this. But we're going to give it just about another 30 to 60 seconds, and we'll get started here on the forecast. How's that audio sound? I feel like that's a little bad audio. Let me see if I can change the audio, make it sound a little bit better here. See if that does anything. Backyard chase for me, absolutely. Let me get you. Okay, Matt, you should be good on your moderator status now. That sounds like crap. Let me change that back. Okay, last audio sounded like crap, so I changed it. Yeah, that sounds way better. All right, guys, filing in here. We're talking about the potential ice storm and a likely ice event that's going to unfold starting tomorrow afternoon through Sunday evening. Okay, it's a pretty wide area. If you guys were looking at the screen when it loaded, it kind of showed you exactly how wide. 1,400 miles from where the first ice potential is until it ends. So 1,400 miles from anywhere from eastern Oklahoma all the way up through to like New Hampshire and Maine. So a really wide area potential for ice here. This is the only winter weather advisory that's currently out for this particular event. Let me get my pen up. I always do this. So far, the only winter weather advisory out right now exists across eastern Iowa, 2 counties in northeast Missouri, much of central to northern Illinois, and then a little slither here in northwest Indiana. That will change. I think by tomorrow morning, we'll have winter weather advisories for much of the northern portion of Indiana as well. We'll get into that here in a second. So there's the hazards again, just kind of closed. So what's this? Oh, that's my restream. So the big conversation is how much ice should we expect, right? So this is tomorrow's reflectivity radar in the afternoon. And so you see this pocket of mixed precipitation right there. That's all ice, right? That's all anywhere in this pink area that has the potential to see some ice falling, some freezing rain falling, and then forming ice on the ground. But how much ice are we expected? We're going to start with the Midwest first because that's where it's going to be first. And then we'll work our way up to the Northeast. Areas like Pennsylvania under the gun for a lot of freezing rain as well. Oh, wait, let's click on this. Skip all the way to the end here. So you see how wide of an area there is across the Ohio Valley tomorrow. I have no idea. So anywhere pretty much, again, right where those winter weather advisories exist, all the way up through portions of even along Lake Michigan there in western Michigan under some ice threat. Of course, they still have winter storm warnings in effect right in here from the prior day winter weather event, 2 days prior, actually. So that's been snowing and icing straight for like 3 whole days up there. And then you have the ice. So the big threat, you can see these 0.13s, 0.10s, 0.12s. That's enough ice to cause serious traffic hazards, right? If you're driving, it looks like I-74 from Champaign-Urbana, probably from Springfield all the way up through Champaign-Urbana, all the way through central Indiana, you're going to have a tough time tomorrow because this road is going to be layered in a thin blanket of ice. Hopefully, the DOT officials out there can get the roads taken care of pretty quickly. Hopefully, because you definitely have pockets of 0.13, probably get into heavier totals up there as well. Let's zoom in a little bit. So this kind of gives us a better idea of snowfall totals a little bit closer through Illinois and Indiana. This is including everything. This is sleet, freezing rain, and mixed precipitation, like rain as well. This is just everything. I'm just pretty much going over like total accumulations. So anywhere south of Davenport, anywhere in this pink area, all the way up through Fort Wayne, Indiana, into southern Michigan, has the potential to see those heavier totals. I live right here in Lafayette. That's where I live. So I'm guaranteed to probably see some ice accumulation tomorrow. And then it's like a pocket of heavy ice back towards like Champaign-Urbana. And all the way up and down, I think, what is this, I-57 maybe? Those who in Illinois might be able to tell me. I think that's I-57. Up and down through there, from Kankakee down to Champaign, all the way down to whatever town that is. I think that's Effingham, I think, down there. So this whole corridor of whatever interstate that is. And then Interstate 74 from Champaign all the way down through Indianapolis. That's another corridor to be concerned about. And then I-65 from Chicago all the way down to Indianapolis is another corridor to be worried about. So lots of ice potential tomorrow across Illinois and Indiana. This will continue east through the Midwest and Ohio Valley and eventually start attacking portions of the Northeast. I know a big region of ice is likely in Pennsylvania as well as upstate New York. We'll get into that here in a second. But definitely want to watch for ice potential. Now, if you don't know how, I know this doesn't look like much, right? You look at this and you're thinking, oh, 600th of a chance of ice, inches of ice, 1/10, a little over ice there. It's like, okay, it is though, right? It does take a lot to become slippery. Of course, ice is ice, right? It doesn't have to be a foot thick to slip on. So, 0.13, 0.06, those are totals high enough that will cause traffic hazards. Hopefully, again, those roads can be managed pretty well. As the system continues, it's going to start punch into areas like Pennsylvania up in the Northeast, right? I think the totals have maybe come down a little bit. Maybe a little. It's not showing glitchy on my end. I'm looking at myself on my phone. Looks like it's coming through just fine on my end. It doesn't look. It looks like maybe a little bit of a lesser amounts than what I saw earlier, especially in like the Harrisburg area. Earlier, I feel like it was showing a lot more. I do that every time. I forget that I have my thing still on. But areas like Harrisburg, you're approaching 1/10 of an inch. Back in Grove City, Pennsylvania, you're over 1/10 of an inch. Jamestown, New York, and all the way through Allentown. Right through this corridor here, the greatest chance in Pennsylvania. I know New York went up on totals a little bit as well, didn't they? Pretty sure they did. Upstate New York. Yep, upstate New York pushing lots of ice and freezing rain up there. 3/10 of an inch, that's enough for an ice storm warning up there. We'll see if those models continue to show heavy ice up in upstate New York. I wasn't really looking up there earlier, so I really don't know if that's NAM. I wonder if maybe NAM is gonna be a little bit more accurate. This is the HER. Let's pull the NAM. Let's just go for it, right? YOLO. So then the NAM shows kind of like a all-out craziness. This is the NAM. That's through only 1 o'clock on Sunday. Let's go a little bit later. Okay, now we know so this is the NAM, a little bit more on totals. Kind of going berserk with the totals. Now it's showing 3/10 of an inch west of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. College Station at 2.26, Harrisburg 0.26, and those heavier pockets of 3/10 of an inch through there. That's plenty enough for a significant ice storm. Definitely, the biggest concern there would be obviously travel. But besides travel, the big problem becomes power outages. You get all that ice stuck on power lines. It'll cause power flashes. It'll break tree limbs, which will fall on power lines. So the problem isn't so much travel, but it's power outages. Then you're pushing 4/10 of an inch in parts of upstate New York as well. Let's go back to Illinois, Indiana, and see what NAM shows. So it actually has a little bit further north on the NAM there across the Ohio Valley. But wider, I guess, because now it has it going all the way back to Columbia, Missouri, and all the way up this little corridor to include Chicago. Now the heaviest of the ice, according to the NAM, is north of Champaign, kind of the Kankakee, Illinois area, with over 1/10 of an inch, and then now Lafayette down to 0.03. So still enough ice, though, of course. Anywhere along I-65 north of Lafayette, whatever interstate this is, I think it's I-57, north of Champaign, north of Springfield, and then going into Chicago. So the threat is still there, and then all the way up into Portage, Michigan as well at 1/10 of an inch. So the threat for ice is still there, even on the NAM, but comparing it to the HUR had the heavier amounts more through this corridor, and the NAM has shifted it north just a little bit and has it kind of through here, just a tad north. That's all right. We'll kind of get a better idea, especially when National Weather Service starts dropping their snowfall totals. Actually, what we'll do is let's pull up the Weather Prediction Center. Let's see what they are saying about the area over the next 72 hours. 72 hours, freezing rain, accumulation by percentile. Okay. So currently, the National Weather Service has, I think, more of what the HUR was saying, kind of right through here being the heaviest amounts. This is up to 1/10 of an inch through portions of Illinois and Indiana. And then it has upwards of 1/4 of an inch, 0.25, through portions of central Pennsylvania, and as well as a little portion there in upstate New York. That's according to the National Weather Service. That would definitely bump with the HUR more than it would the NAM, I think. But we'll see if that changes. It's very possible that will change. Yeah, absolutely. Even a light glaze doesn't matter whether it's 0.01, 0.05, or 1/4 of an inch. Any type of ice on the ground can cause some travel problems, right? Cause you to slide off the road, get injured. I have no idea if it's going to go into Canada. I usually don't forecast for Canada, but I can take a look here in a second. I don't know if our National Weather Service doesn't do that. Let's see here. I can't really tell because our National Weather Service doesn't go into there. I don't think our forecast models do either. I think I can actually, I'm pretty sure there's a way where I can pull. I'm at the pull sounding for a second because I had to close out of that. National, nope, there's no Canadian. You can only do the United States. Even though this is the North American model, you can only pull United States. But it looks like it does dip into Canada a little bit there. Just pulling that information, it looks like it dips into Canada. So I would expect maybe some ice in Canada as well. Yeah, definitely dips into Canada. So here's Lake Erie, here's Lake Ontario, and then here's like the Toronto area. So definitely dips into Canada. Some ice potential up there as well. Oh, so Canada's version of our Skywarn is Canwarn. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there are advisories out for areas in Illinois. Winter weather advisory currently in effect across portions of Illinois for the ice tomorrow. Hello from Connecticut. Yeah, the names have it much higher. Yeah, absolutely. Pennsylvania will definitely be under some type of advisory tomorrow for sure. Probably NWS there is just kind of holding out a little bit. Same with New York. They'll probably hold out a little bit to kind of see what the models do, how they trend, and then they'll start issuing. But this is the NAM, man. The NAM shows just all out craziness across the Northeast. Lots of heavy ice, freezing rain coming down in that area. Um, it's all out craziness. It's going to start back in the Midwest, though. So back towards the Ohio Valley, and then kind of does a run all the way up from northern Missouri all the way up into Canada. It's that little thin line. Below it, right through here, is rain, and that'll kind of do like one of these. Anywhere in the blue is going to be your pretty much your mixed precipitation, and that's when you get your heaviest ice amounts. I'd imagine is tucked into that mixed precipitation right near the surface low. Cook County, yeah, same thing. Cook County's Chicago, so you're pushing some ice potential there according to the NAM, about a 0.05, enough for you to walk outside and fall. This is for tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow and Sunday. So the Midwest, which you're looking at right now, is under the gun tomorrow, starting tomorrow afternoon at about noon probably. And then it moves into the Northeast by overnight tomorrow and then into Sunday. Guess we can do like a little motion. Let's see what NAM shows on. Let's see here. We'll go to Saturday at about noon. So this is according to the NAM. Saturday at noon, it starts to get going there. Some mixed precipitation across Missouri and southern Illinois. By about 3 o'clock, you're getting heavier areas of mixed precip with that freezing rain in there. Areas like Springfield, north of St. Louis by 3 p.m. By 6 p.m. now you have a wider area of freezing rain potential to include even up towards Chicago. Going into 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Still areas, even in this green stuff, you can get some freezing rain potential, but now it's pushing up across Michigan, moving into Canada. And then by midnight, you're going into more of transitioning into heavy rain across southern Indiana, southern Illinois, and then you get that freezing rain potential there still across the thumb of Michigan, moving into Canada. And then then it should actually start transitioning into northwest. Yep. So now you see by midnight, it's starting to move into parts of upstate Pennsylvania, upstate New York. Go ahead to 3 a.m. Now it's really ramping up. Again, upstate Pennsylvania, upstate New York. That's by 6 a.m., I think. No, this is 6 a.m. right here. Now you're just all out freezing rain, crazy amounts coming down. That's why this area of the country is expected to get the worst of it. Now you're going into 9 a.m. and it's almost all mixed precip, as well as this purple area now indicating mostly freezing rain. Or I guess this would be mostly freezing rain, but Just a wide area of freezing rain potential there at about 9 a.m. in Pennsylvania and New York. By noon, it's still going all up and down the eastern seaboard here. Eastern Pennsylvania, southern New York, western Massachusetts, western Connecticut, New Hampshire, all up and down there with the potential of ice. That's at noon on Sunday. But it starts back in the Midwest. That's where we're talking about right now, because tomorrow I can do another live video before it gets to Pennsylvania. Let me get back to so that's the NAM, and then you see the HER pushing it a little bit more widespread and a little further south. And then NAM 3K has it kind of bumping more with the regular NAM and a little bit lower amounts as well. So it's really like, what's going to happen, you know? I just like to show the HER because, I don't know. In the UK, it's almost 12 a.m. Crazy. It is 7 o'clock p.m. here on the east coast of the United States. Yeah, NAM. Yeah, the NAM is going absolutely crazy with those ice freezing rain totals. I mean, definitely going to be a lot of power outages if it plays out that way. So definitely, just in case, you want to be prepared for that. Oh yeah, am I on ice right now? Oh, I am on ice. Whoops. Pretty much the same there. Let's go to Pennsylvania, to the northeast. Yeah. Going kind of berserk, yeah. Pennsylvania, according to the NAM on freezing rain potential, has got it just absolutely crazy through here. If this is valid and if this is accurate, there will be hundreds of thousands of power outages in this entire region. Much of Pennsylvania won't have power if this plays out the way it is. This would be one of the this would be the biggest ice storm of the year if I were to guess, if this played out. This is just one forecast model, though. But definitely want to keep an eye. Yeah, that's nuts. That's crazy. Half an inch of ice pushing there. Yeah, that's insanity. Yeah, it could be a 2021. I remember that. HER, it's HRRR. It stands for the High Resolution Rapid Refresh. It's a forecast model, computer forecast model. Updates hourly. So every hour you get new information. Good for those who like chase tornadoes. That's convenient. The NAM is the North American model. Updates every 3 hours. But it's a little less detailed. It kind of gives you just more of a what could go wrong scenario, kind of like a Murphy's Law of forecast models. Here's the HER on freezing rain. So you see the significant difference through here. Like a crazy amount of difference. It's showing only 0.05 there in State College. But if you go to 3K, or actually just regular NAM, if you go to the regular NAM, you're at over 3/10 there in State College for the same system. So it's like crazy. So what to believe, you know, what should you believe in? Now, if you want to know how wide the storm system's going and you didn't see the picture at the beginning of the stream, so it looks like you even have some potential down here across Arkansas. And so it stretches about 1,400 miles all the way up the east coast, impacting the hardest areas across Illinois, and then definitely ramping up here, according to the NAM, across Pennsylvania, New York, and Vermont. Yes, there is a tornado chance tomorrow across portions of extreme southeast Texas, kind of right in here. Models I was pulling earlier weren't screaming tornadoes, so I guess that's why there's only 2%. But nothing, no tornado outbreak potential down there. Yeah, definitely want to get groceries. But you see, if you guys take a minute to look at this, look at this entire thing, especially right here. Take a minute to look at that, and we'll show you the difference between the NAM and what the HUR is saying. Significant difference for freezing rain potential. Okay, now let's pull the HUR again. Max it out. So you see how I feel like the HUR is definitely pushing for more freezing rain back here in the Midwest, and then it weakens out as it gets to the Northeast. As the NAM is reversed, right? The NAM shows more up here, less in the Midwest, but the HUR saying more in the Midwest, less in the Northeast, except for this portion of upstate New York, apparently. But you see the significant difference. Now it has almost nothing happening here across Arkansas. And so it actually shortened maybe the stretch out a little bit. Excuse me. But definitely big time ice potential anywhere from northern Missouri, I think, all the way through this New York State. I don't believe that National Weather Service has got their forecast out yet because it doesn't go far enough. Yeah, this only goes until 12 o'clock p.m. tomorrow, so it's not far enough to show us what they're expecting, because you can tell by 12 o'clock it's just now starting to get going down here. So National Weather Service forecasts aren't far enough out yet in order to get all that information. So when they update that, I'll post it in the Discord chat. There is winter weather advisories out right now that just were dropped about an hour or two ago. Are they always different? The HUR and the so they're there's different for a reason. So like the HUR is your day of or within 2 days type of forecast model. Your NAM is your medium range, so anywhere from like 3 to 6 days, and then your GFS or your Euro is your your long range, 7 days or more. So you usually want to use the HUR for these close events, but when it comes to winter weather, it's weird sometimes. We can actually pull the Euro, a long range model, and see what it is showing, just for fun and games. Doesn't hurt. We have to go back. Oops, not that far. We go back to 12Z. Skip ahead. Oh, that's not right. See, like things. Okay, so look at this. The Euro model has absolutely nothing happening anywhere in the Midwest. It's dried out, right? But it shows that ice event across Pennsylvania. So if I'm a forecaster and I'm seeing nothing here, but I'm seeing a long range model showing ice here, as well as medium range and short range model, I'm going to probably say it's guaranteed to happen somewhere in here. How much? No idea. But using a long range model, you can definitely narrow down where the heaviest ice is going to be, and then where it might not even happen across the Midwest. So that's actually pretty crazy. It not even showing anything. But it looked like 18 Zulu. Yeah, so 18 Zulu is actually starting to get together here. Starting to come together a little bit there across the Midwest. This is through Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. So it's actually showing that it's pretty much already done on this model run. So not a lot. But I guarantee you, once this thing loads, it'll show a lot of ice potential there through Pennsylvania and New York. So according to the Euro, it's only got sprinkles of freezing rain tucked back here in central to southern Illinois, and then like a random intensification period across northwest Indiana, kind of like the Crown Point, Indiana, south of Gary. That's just according to the Euro. But really shocking how it had nothing, and then maybe it's bouncing back a little bit. We'll see what it does. Oh, hold on. We got an update here. Yeah, so that's it. That's all it's showing right now. This is through 12 a.m. now. So let's see what the GFS says. Again, hold on. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Again, nothing. So another long-range model not showing anything or much of anything through there, but I guarantee it shows something in Pennsylvania. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. So you're seeing heavy amounts back here through Pennsylvania on both long-range models that we use. Doesn't go far enough on the map. So a lot of models not really showing much. But the HER and the NAM are showing ice, and I guess that's good enough for the National Weather Service. So, all right, let's answer some questions here. I think the Euro is almost fully out. Yeah. It's just, let's go back up here so I don't miss anything. 0.1, yeah, 2/10 of an inch is still a big amount. Yeah, ice, yeah, definitely. I would say anything from 0.05 up is a good amount of ice, even though they're not going to start issuing ice storm warnings until a quarter of an inch. But anything, any type of ice that starts to layer onto the ground, that's when it becomes a problem. Because any of that can become travel hazards, slick, you name it. Yeah, it's still loading. Euro's still going. We'll give it a little bit. Kentucky is not involved. This ice event will stay north of Kentucky. When will it happen? It's supposed to start in the Midwest tomorrow afternoon, anytime probably afternoon, and then transition into the Northeast by overnight and into Sunday morning. Virginia is well out of it, way north of you for the most part. I guess not way north. You guys are pretty close to Pennsylvania, but yeah, cold temperatures seem to stick around as well. I didn't see much of a change in cold temperatures through the next few days, at least for where I live and here in the Midwest. Let's see here. Ohio. Let's stay on the HER for now. We'll come back to the NAM. Wait for Zero Zulu to drop as well. So Ohio, according to the HER, is getting like scattered freezing rain showers up in the northeast portion and then again in the northwest. But anything pretty much south of Columbus remains pretty clear. Pretty clear in that area. But if you're up against the lake, Cleveland, maybe up towards Toledo, you have the potential for seeing some ice accumulation. It's cold and eerie, yeah. Thunder, is that a thing? Thunder ice? I've never heard of that. Can I check Sunday's tornado chance? Yeah, I'll get into that here in a second. I'll go into tomorrow's tornado threat as well across Texas. updated. But right now, if you're just tuning in to tonight's forecast vlog, this will probably be the final forecast vlog of the week. I might take tomorrow off and just simply focus on documenting this ice event. But I'll be live streaming that, so you guys can tune in and watch that, of course. But for the most part, probably take a little bit of a break this weekend, relax a little, and then we'll come back next week and start talking about more snow potential towards the mid and end of the month. No ice in North Carolina. It's north of you. Streator, Illinois. Oh gosh, I know where that is. I've heard of that. I think I've driven past or driven through there before. Probably storm chasing or something. Let's see. Oh yeah, I've definitely driven through there before. Right there on Illinois 18. Yeah, definitely. So Streator, Illinois actually sits in the region which both the NAM forecast model and the HER forecast model are pushing at ice. So I think no matter what, Streator will see some freezing rain accumulation tomorrow. Very slick roadways. I wouldn't be shocked to hear about maybe school closings tomorrow in this region. It's going to happen a little bit later in the day, more after 12 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, definitely a chance for freezing rain there in Streator. St. Joseph, Missouri. I don't know where that is. Oh, I clicked on Michigan and not Missouri. I don't think you guys will see any ice accumulation that far west, but it gets pretty close to you. There in northwest Missouri, you might see a little bit of something, but probably not enough to really be concerned about. If the roads look slick, though, drive slow because black ice is also a thing. So you might not be able to actually tell, but with black ice, you can still get it shines. It's like a reflection a little bit, so that's the best way to tell if there's, because obviously concrete doesn't reflect. So if you can see a reflection on the ground on the road, it's probably going to be ice on the ground. No snow. We're not forecasting any snow right now. Simply ice forecast. But anywhere in this area, I guess, could see some snowflakes, but definitely not that far south in like Georgia or anything. But anywhere, tucked in here where there's mixed precipitation, you can definitely see some snowflakes out of it, but that's the least of our concerns going into the weekend. Or sorry, did I say Friday? Okay, I meant Saturday. I've experienced thunder snow, but never thunder ice. Wouldn't it just be a thunderstorm that happened? No. So when we say things like thunder snow and thunder ice, I don't know. It's hard to explain. When you hear thunder in a snowstorm, it doesn't mean it's a thunderstorm per se. I don't know. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but thunderstorms are like storms that produce hail and tornadoes and things like that. I've never heard of thunder ice. That's the first time for me. I have no idea. I've never heard of it. Let's take a look. It'd be kind of cool though to experience. Why is my Google not loading? I swear, I think my phone sometimes just forgets how to work. I guess it is a. I only see thunder snow. I don't see thunder ice, but there is a article about thunder ice, so it must be real. I've never heard of it before. It's just crazy because I've been studying the weather for years now. Thank you. We still have ice from the last storm. Oh, where'd it go? Thank you. I'm also teaching a team about black ice. Yeah, black ice is really dangerous. because it's easy to drive slow when you can physically see the ice, but it's when you don't see it, because then people think, oh, the roads are just wet. Well, that might be true, but that's how it gets you. The roads appear to be wet. You get a little reflection off of it. People aren't really thinking about it. And then all of a sudden you're crashing. So just be careful out there. Anywhere from Missouri through New Hampshire, where this ice potential exists, definitely got to be careful with the freezing rain and black ice. Yeah, Penn Weather says it could be slick both Sunday and Monday morning because of that black ice. Yeah. So even though the main ice event is on Sunday for portions of the Northeast, doesn't mean you're going to wake up Monday and the roads are going to be clear, right? It takes a good minute to get ice off of roadways, especially if it's thick like they're calling for on some forecast models. So you could get slippery roads on Monday morning on your way into work as well. So be very, very careful, especially in like areas like Pennsylvania where it's just hills and mountains everywhere. Yeah, my phone's been giving me a hard time lately. I don't know what's going on with it. It's an iPhone. And I think iPhones are built to kind of start dying and going out after a certain amount of time. That way they force us to buy new ones. I've always wanted to experience thunder snow as well, or not thunder. Sorry, thunder ice. Now that we are talking about it, someone said that they wanted to experience thunder ice. I do as well. So if you're just now tuning in, we started the live stream talking about the winter weather advisory now in effect across portions of Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, and Indiana. This is where the ice is expected to start ramping up in totals. You notice that there is ice potential back here, but it's not really expected to start really getting going on accumulation totals until it reaches this portion of the country. After this gets hit, it will move up this direction to impact portions of northern Indiana, northern Ohio, southern Michigan, and eventually drive into areas like Pennsylvania, New York State, New Hampshire, Vermont. All those northeast areas could see some pretty heavy ice. I know I'll get to the tornado chance in a little bit. We are talking about ice storms right now. I'm answering questions. I've had heavy sleet showers come through producing lightning before. It's an amazing scene. I bet it's cool. Let me check the stream here and make sure it's working. Looks fine on my end. What's my radius for chasing storms? I chase all over the country. I usually find myself in Texas a few times, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska. Find myself back in the Midwest, Illinois, Indiana, all over the place. I don't usually go to the Northeast. That's usually my kind of my cutoff. I don't really go to the Northeast to chase storms because there's not a lot that happens up there. I would like to experience a nor'easter one time up there in that area just to say I did. But yeah, I chase all over the place. I don't go to Florida a lot either. Actually, I've never chased storms in Florida. There's not much to chase there. All over the place. Let's see, in the month of December alone, I was chasing a derecho up here that was moving like this in Iowa. And then I intercepted the EF4 tornadoes in Missouri and Kentucky. No, I've never chased out of the United States. I've always wanted to. That's always been a dream of mine, a goal of mine, is to chase storms in like Europe and Canada, Australia. I'll get there someday. at some point I will have the opportunity to do that. Father Winter's definitely come out of hibernation. Chase the real tornado towns in the Northeast. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe one day. Usually in the wintertime, I usually get really desperate because, I'm a huge fan of tornadoes and severe thunderstorms, stuff like that. No, I've never chased a hurricane. That will be something I start doing here in 2022. My intention was to start in 2021, but the only good hurricane that hit the coast, I couldn't chase. I had to work at my old job, and so I didn't have the opportunity to chase that hurricane. But I will chase a hurricane this year. But as the winter goes along, I start to get desperate for storms, severe weather like thunderstorms and tornadoes and hail. So I start to chase anything that looks like it has potential. I'm not terribly desperate right now after having a good December. But come late this month into February, I'll be anything that has the potential for producing a tornado. I'll probably be there. I don't know. Maybe it's rare in other locations. Maybe Dallas is just an area that thunder snow can produce better. Doesn't mean it's not rare in other locations. Yeah, I had Jack Frost was killing my face. Yes, it was negative 15 degrees at my house last night. Hated it. Hated every minute. After the live stream last night, I was telling my chat room there on Discord that I was going outside and told them not to do that. It was terrible. December did pay off really well. Shockingly, we didn't expect obviously a historic tornado outbreak with a historic tornado to occur. But it's crazy. Weather's crazy now. And that even went down to Mississippi to chase on the 29th of December as well. And that we came up a little bit empty on that day. Nothing really produced. All right, so this is the winter weather advisory for tomorrow across Illinois. This is what the HUR is calling for. Some freezing rain accumulation to cause ice on roadways and surfaces tomorrow. Heaviest being across east central Illinois into west central Indiana. Anywhere from the Springfield area up through northwest Indiana, all the way up to like the South Bend, Elkhart, Indiana area, being the heaviest. Maybe even down towards Terre Haute, Indiana, pushing 0.2 of an inch down there. If I were to chase tomorrow's ice event, I would probably target US 41 up and down west central Indiana, and then maybe dip into Illinois. I'll try to keep myself off the interstate though. But the reason being is it's flat down here, but there's also some hills. So I can be a little bit more cautious in west central Indiana up and down that US 41 corridor. Especially if it's calling for 0.2 of an inch. That's guaranteed to have somebody slide off the roadway or something. Hopefully not me though. Yes, guys, if it's your first time, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Do me a favor. We've been doing really well. Maybe not really well, but to me, doing really well with the views on these videos. I haven't had a video that's really been that much below 10,000 views. I'm trying to keep all of them above 10,000 views. So if you know somebody that lives in this area, across portions of Illinois, Indiana, make sure you share them the video. Maybe they'll share it and show their friends and whatnot. Casey's in the house. I believe that La Nina maybe around the 15th. La Ninas usually bring pretty decent snowstorms. We've already seen a couple this year of decent snowstorms. We still got to wait for our first big significant winter storm. That'll come before you know it. But this is the area across the Midwest before I get distracted again. According to the HUR, you go to the Northeast now. As the system continues across the Midwest and into the Northeast tomorrow afternoon and into Sunday morning. Now you're getting pockets of freezing rain through here. Could be a little bit higher amounts, but then you turn to the NAM, and it goes absolutely crazy through Pennsylvania. Oh, we're not far enough ahead. Hang on. What am I missing? Oh, that's why. So then you turn it to the NAM, and you have totals just maxing out almost across Pennsylvania, going into New York. Crazy amounts. Whether that's accurate or not, we don't know yet. We're still waiting for the new forecast to drop here from National Weather Service. I figured it'd be out by now, considering it's 7:30, but it hasn't dropped yet, so we're just waiting for that. Winter weather advisories for the ice potential has already been issued back across Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa. Right now I'm answering some questions about where everybody lives, answering some weather questions for everybody. Why is this not loading? If you guys want to join the Discord chat, I'll drop that link in here in a second. Let's take a look at my beautiful face for a second. I guess I don't have... we'll show that screen here for a second, then I'm going to hop over to YouTube while you guys stare at that. And I'm going to pull up the Discord link here. I need to start doing this at the beginning of the live stream. But if you live in an area that you think you could have some ice, make sure you let me know. We'll pull it up on the map. Okay, so you guys now have that Discord link there pinned to the chat. You guys can join that. And basically what that is, you guys can get in there, chat with myself and some other weather nerds and weather people that want to talk about upcoming events and stuff. You can do that in there. Ask me any questions in there as well. Because a lot of times I don't get to answer questions like I want to in here. Let's go back to the Weather Prediction Center. This is kind of giving us an idea of what their forecast will show. And I think they bump with the HER a little bit more here. Over the next 72 hours, expecting upwards of 1/10 of an inch across eastern Illinois into Indiana. But you notice how it kind of breaks apart as it gets into Indiana. There's a pretty decent section of the state there that doesn't have very high ice accumulation. And then you go over to Pennsylvania, and it's pushing about 1/4 of an inch anywhere through. And that's been really consistent on a lot of forecast models to see some ice accumulation occurring in that area, including long-range forecast models have been saying, hey, this is where ice is going to be, this is where ice is going to be, this is where you need to be. Some information out of National Weather Service Baltimore. Frigid cold air tonight with gusty winds early before dissipating around midnight. So you're probably experiencing some pretty brutal winds there in the Washington, D.C. area. I know the storm event, like the snow event from yesterday, kind of underperformed in that area. I was calling for about 2 to 4 inches on my forecast the day prior, and I think they only got about, an inch or two, I think, in that area. So a little bit of an underperformance. And then I think it overperformed as it got through like New York City and areas up there, like in the Boston area. I think it overperformed. I saw reports of 15 inches up in like Rhode Island and Massachusetts. So crazy. We can talk about tomorrow, let's talk about tomorrow's tornado threat across portions of Texas. We'll start with the Storm Prediction Center's. Actually, let's just use Pivotal Weather because it's terrible. We know that there is a Day 2 tornado threat across portions of Texas. There it is. So if you're in Texas, let me fix that. It looks terrible. Let's do Saturday. Wait, tomorrow's Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday. I get my days all mixed up lately. So there is a tornado threat in Texas on Saturday. This is tomorrow. This little green area here indicates a 2% tornado risk. Okay. So there is definitely a potential for maybe a couple of brief tornadoes, and not expecting anything widespread, nothing huge like F5s or whatever. That's not expected. But areas like Houston, Texas, which is right there, you're dead center of that. And I think what's happening is there's thunderstorms coming off of the Gulf tomorrow, which we'll take a look at reflectivity here. Coming off the Gulf, and it's kind of following that weather pattern up and around like this. Because I do know there is severe thunderstorm risk all the way up through Arkansas as well, just no tornado potential getting out of those dew points. And so it's kind of, getting out. Let's see, we can check the day 2 categorical here. Yeah, so here you see the day 2 looking like a thumb extending all the way up into Arkansas, but the tornado threat remains down here. And I will show you why the tornado threat remains down there. Come on. Take a look at dew points. Tomorrow, does it go that far? No, it doesn't. Let's go back to 18Z. Do tomorrow evening. So you can see where the warmest dew points are, right? That's why the tornado threat exists in these green and blue colors right here, right? Especially down here where it's close to 70. That's why there's a tornado threat closer to the Gulf. You have that moisture being pushed northwest right up there, which I think is another reason why we'll have probably a tornado potential across areas like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama tomorrow. Nothing major, but still there. And then as you extend north, you get out of those blues. You go all the way up into Arkansas, right? So right here is about your severe thunderstorm threat tomorrow, but you're getting out of those higher dew points, upper 60s and low 70s, and you're getting into upper, low 50s and 40s. That's why your severe or your tornado threat dies off up here, but remains pretty likely down here. Not likely, but possible. If we pull up radar, potential radar, you can see little bands of storms extending again all the way up through Arkansas. Here's your color in blue here. Here's your higher dew points. So right where these storms are getting going down here across southeast Texas, pretty much right on top of Houston, that should be your area of concern tomorrow for tornado potential. And anything up outside that blue arch where those warmer dew points are, you're getting what's called elevated storms. So you have more of a risk of maybe some strong winds, maybe a microburst up there, probably some hail potential as well. It being that far north, almost north of that front. So you get all these storms up here elevated, being north of that front, and then down here they can become surface-based and produce some rotating supercells in those storms down there. Take a look at supercell composite, again, kind of bumping with what I was just saying, right along the coast where those highest supercell composite totals are. Let's pull a sounding from almost right on top of Houston. So pretty good sounding, not terrible. Lots of problems with it though. Your CAPE is well above 1,000, so that's good. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. You're getting some lack of surface winds, however. Looks like only like 3 to 5 knots coming out of the southeast of surface winds. You get a pretty good arch going in your hodograph with a 65 critical angle to it, indicating probably northeast storm movement with that hodograph. Storm Slinky kind of gives off that. So northeast storm movement, southeast wind speeds, but not very strong at the surface. Might be trouble. Might have some trouble getting those storms to start spinning there at the ground. But But the upper atmosphere, 35 knots at the 1 kilometer range, is enough to get that storm to rotate, become a supercell. However, lack of surface winds will be a problem down here. So it might be pretty tough to actually see a tornado start to go there in southeast Texas tomorrow. Can water spouts lead to a hurricane? No, they cannot. Water spouts are just water tornadoes. They have nothing to do with tropical development like hurricanes. Thank you so much. Yeah, I try to keep it as simple as possible and as accurate as possible. I like to see people, commenting how correct I've been. I don't like to. A lot of YouTube channels, not really, just some YouTube channels. None in particular that I can think of off the top of my head, but there are some like channels that are ran by 18, 19-year-olds that don't really have a long education in weather, but they're kind of just hyping everything to get views, and it works. People love hype. People love watching people talk about a foot of snow when it's probably not even going to happen. And those people know it's not going to happen, but they get views and they get money, so they talk about it over and over. Oh yeah, a foot of snow. I'm sure somewhere on YouTube, I guarantee you, there's a weather page somewhere on YouTube that's talking about a tornado outbreak in southeast Texas tomorrow. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Water spouts, yes, absolutely. So tomorrow is actually a good example of the potential for water spouts. Let me pull reflectivity. Let's go back a couple hours. So you see all these little red dots off the coast here. Those are all severe thunderstorms that are wanting to get going. Same here off the coast of Louisiana. All of those could be water spout producers. And what happens is you get water spouts that form off the coast and they push in like such, and they become tornadoes, right? So that's why you'll see a lot of videos on social media as well that show like watching a water spout come to them, and they're just sitting on the beach. Like, people don't realize that, yeah, it's just water, but when that hits land, it's a tornado, right? And it could do damage and it could kill you. I think last year, I want to say somewhere in Florida, they had a water spout come on land and actually destroy buildings. Got like an EF1, EF2 rating. Luckily, didn't kill anybody, but there's video of people just filming it from the beach, and it comes on and just starts ripping roofs off of buildings. I'm like, it's still a tornado. Like, you should still take it serious. And a lot of times the National Weather Service is on top of that, and they'll put tornado warnings out along the coasts to warn people that water spouts are coming on sea. But I wouldn't be surprised to see one of those tomorrow as well. I've been studying meteorology since 2010, probably 2010, 2011. I think it was because of the super outbreak in the South. So probably 2011 is when I started studying meteorology really, really deep. I've always been fascinated with it since I was a kid, but actually studying it. I'm a college student now in a meteorology course. Well, atmospheric science and geoscience, but 2011, after that super outbreak there in the South, I think that's when I really got into it. Specifically tornadoes. Not a huge winter storm fan, but tornadoes. So that's the tornado risk on Saturday, tomorrow. Let's go into, I don't think I can go that far on the her yet. We can go into Sunday's risk a little bit. Still a couple days out. Sunday's risk looks a little bit more organized in southern Mississippi, coming close to the coast there. Let's pull up some composites here. Actually, let's start with dew points. So you see dew points, again, rocketing in those blues all the way through, like I said, through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. That could definitely be, that's enough moisture there to be a threat for supercells and tornadoes. Let's just pull a random sounding from somewhere in the south. So this is actually a little bit better than Texas. You see how low, can you guys see that? There, now you can. You see how low this LCL is here? That's pretty much your cloud layer. So that's how low the surface, the base of the clouds will be. And this gray line is where you and I sit, right? That's the surface. So that is scraping the earth. So meaning that in the south in the jungle where all those trees are, you will not be able to tell if there's a tornado on the ground. It'll be so low to the ground, you won't be able to see over the trees unless you have something like a drone or something. Somewhat decent arch going on here in the photograph at about 10 knots there at the surface, 35 knots at the 1 kilometer range. I think there's a better chance for tornadoes on Sunday across areas like southern Mississippi, southwest Alabama, and Louisiana than there is for Texas tomorrow. Just personal opinion. It's a little contaminated. You can see by the lines coming out into the skew T there. But for the most part, it looks like a decent sounding. But that's the tornado risk. That goes into the weekend as well for the south. Not enough for me to drive 11 and a half hours, 12 hours to chase. But if I were a storm chaser that lived in that area, I would absolutely be chasing those storms. Without a doubt. Let's get back to the ice potential now, yeah? So that's what people are here to see. I'll answer some questions here in 1 second. Let me get back to freezing rain potential here across the Midwest. I try to explain them as best as I possibly can. Sometimes it's hard to kind of explain them in an easier way. Winter weather advisory in St. Louis now? Okay, so they did extend that winter weather advisory southwest. Let's take a look. I'll get that incorrect map off the screen. Yep, they did. Look at that. So National Weather Service St. Louis, Missouri has now issued their winter weather advisories to include portions of eastern Missouri and then dipping into Illinois to match what we had earlier. So now there are, 4 weather forecast offices. You have St. Louis with their winter weather advisory. You have Lincoln, Illinois, Quad Cities there in Davenport, and Chicago. So 4 National Weather Service offices are now coming together saying, yes, this is going to happen tomorrow. We need to get some advisories out. And they have done that. So a pretty wide area for winter weather advisories there across Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, and portions of Indiana. It was only a matter of time. I was waiting to see what they were going to do because they didn't include this area back here until a few minutes ago. So they are expecting enough ice to be back here in Missouri to cause some problems. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Just kind of doing a brief update on the ice storm potential that is occurring or could occur tomorrow. We'll get into, let's actually go into the Northeast now. The heaviest, I think the hardest hit area for ice will be Sunday across Pennsylvania and New York. I think that's going to be the big one. However, the HER is really, really being strict on freezing rain potential here. A big area of freezing rain potential across Pennsylvania, even getting into, looks like close to New York City, but not quite. And then another area here across upstate New York. If the NAM is correct, which I know we love pulling the NAM, if the NAM is correct, it's absolute ice storm craziness across Pennsylvania and New York. Right now, I'm going with the HER right now, only because I think the NAM really overplays a lot of stuff in a way. So I think I'm going to go with the HER for now. We'll see how it trends through the night. I'll monitor all of that after we get off the live stream. Yeah, we can go into, hold on. Let me answer some questions first before I answer that. Do I feel spotters should be certified as well as trained? What do you mean? Should storm spotters be trained? Absolutely. That's a kind of a pet peeve of mine is people that go out and chase tornadoes that either have never chased a tornado before, or just don't even know how to read a storm structure. It's very dangerous. Obviously, one, you can get killed if you don't know what you're doing, and two, you can kill other people. Because a lot of new people that go out tend to not be paying attention to the road, and will crash into other people. We've had a few people who have done that. Just last year, we had a few incidents of kind of people that don't chase storms, that went out and crashed, got in wrecks. Um, I'm all about second chances, though. So if they kind of get it right the next time, then yeah. Okay, so 61 tornado tracks from that December 15 Iowa storm. There is footage on my YouTube of the Iowa storms in the tornado warning. I was in a tornado warning, and I have a in my video. There's a piece of metal roofing that gets ripped off of a hotel and tossed. It's like sheet metal, just to kind of emphasize how destructive those winds were in Iowa back in December. You guys are more than welcome to watch that, of course. Washington State's got some flooding problems. Okay. Yeah, that's a sad thing too. Is the homeless, right? Obviously we have homeless people that live all over the country. In every major city, there's homeless people. Can you imagine being homeless and having to sleep outside in the negative 15-degree temperatures, and then on top of that, there's ice potential? I can't imagine it. It'd be terrible. Um, so hopefully they're finding a way to stay warm, of course. Yeah, chaser converging. Yeah, that's a big one too. Chaser convergences. That's why I enjoy living in the Midwest, because there's chaser convergence here in the Midwest, but it's not as likely, especially later in the year. So if I'm chasing a setup in Illinois in October, I don't see as many chasers as I do if I'm chasing a tornado setup in Kansas in May. How much ice for Southwest Connecticut? Pretty good amount. Looks like we're hinting at least a tenth of an inch to 2/10 of an inch there in Southwest Connecticut. Of course, that could change over the next 24 hours. Yes, that was the same footage. I think it was. I think they registered 83 miles an hour on that storm that I intercepted there at that hotel in Iowa back in December. Radar indicated like 80 to 85 miles an hour in a tornado warned storm at night. So it was pretty fun. Hello from Boston again. How's it going? I just watched a movie last night. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's called The Town. It's got Ben Affleck in it, and they pull off Boston accents pretty good in that movie. Yeah, that's a good point. Chasing like northeast, like New York, I bet you don't ever see Jason Convergence up there. Absolutely. Indiana's the same way. It's like anything east of Illinois, people kind of give up on. So it's like chasing Indiana, you don't get a lot of chaser convergence because it's like, oh, nobody wants to go east of Illinois. What's my favorite radar to chase with? Radar scope, definitely. I like radar Omega as well because it radar Omega does some things that radar scope doesn't, but radar scope is more smooth and quicker. Yes, The Town, great movie. Yeah, it is a good movie for sure. There's nothing as to ice. There's nothing ice storm. I don't know what that says. There is nothing as to ice storm coming. Yeah, the entire state is under an ice potential. So this is Pennsylvania, and the entire region almost looks like Southwest Pennsylvania might dodge a bullet. Is under some sort of ice potential on Sunday. Guys, let's keep it civil in the comments. My moderators are in there taking care of business, so let's keep it civil. No inappropriate comments. We're all adults. So that's what we're monitoring right now. There are, I guess I already had that up. I opened it up again. There are a few winter weather advisories that have been issued for areas across the Midwest. So here are your winter weather advisories that are in effect. These are the first advisories for this particular ice event. Oh, that's cool, dude. Yeah, that is cool. I loved it. That was my first time watching the movie last night, and I really did enjoy it. But these are the first advisories for this ice event. This is where it'll start tomorrow afternoon, and eventually it'll push this direction up across northern Indiana, southern Michigan, northern Ohio, and then we'll eventually start to ramp up as it gets into eastern Ohio and drop some ice on Pennsylvania and New York tomorrow. You know, I would love to have an accent of any kind. Like a southern accent is my favorite, but I would like accents are so cool in my opinion. Midwest, we don't have it, you know. Midwest is just the words that we use. Um, Everybody makes fun of me for like certain words that I say that Midwest people use that people from other parts of the country don't. It's kind of cool, I guess. Um, do I like Barron products? Never really used them. I'm with kind of exclusively with Midland USA. They're kind of I'm an ambassador for them. I sell a lot of their products and give them away for free. Um, so I don't use anybody else's product because of that. I can, but I usually use Midland USA for everything. Massachusetts, I think they're pretty close to getting potential ice. It looks like some areas of the state could see a little bit, but not nearly as much as areas southwest of you. So as of right now, again, this could change. We're going to go for about another 10 minutes. There's not much to talk about with this event. It's not as like, I can't really go into detail about ice for 2 hours straight because I'll just be repeating myself every 30 seconds. But I'm just going to answer some questions. It could be about anything. It doesn't have to be just about ice. It could be about weather and, we can see, hold on. Let's see what we see here over the next, none of this that I'm about to show you should be taken serious. This is a long range forecast model. And sometimes it's not, I clicked on the wrong thing. Sometimes it's not accurate. You get changes in weather patterns all the time. I like the high pressure system right over my house. So that's going to be nice, sunny, but freezing out more than likely. Kind of skip ahead a day at a time here and see if we see anything that kind of see a high pressure system forming there in the south. Another one up in Canada. Looks like maybe a little bit of something going on here. Later on in the month, this is about a week from today. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I did. Then you get something else here. Again, that's the 15th of January. So that's pretty far down the road. About a week to be forecasting that. Continues through the northeast. And that's about it for now. Some snow happening maybe up north. But that's all I see for now, just using long range. Have I, have I ever seen Vanilla Ice live? No, I have not. It's quite, it's actually Funny because we're talking about ice storms. I did say you could ask me about anything, didn't I? Hi, Debbie. Thanks for being here. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I've seen a couple comments about being more detailed than local meteorologists as well. I kind of have that a little bit easier than them, mainly being because a lot of local meteorologists, um, I guess they do have access to social media, but they only have like 10 minutes a night on TV to talk about, weather and stuff like that, which is ridiculous. I think weather should be talked about just as much as the news, considering a lot of the news doesn't affect people, but weather affects everybody. But there's not a lot of time to talk about the weather on TV. That's probably why it seems a little bit more detailed on here. Do I think there will be a snowstorm on the 21st of January? I just went up quite a ways. That's way, way, way too far out to predict. I will not give you a yes or no on that. Way too far out to predict winter storms. Um, I don't like to forecast any type of winter storm more than 7 days, because at about the 7 day and less mark, you can kind of start to get models that come together and start agreeing. But with more than 7 days, it's hard. Why don't we see planes flying storms like we see? Good question. I don't know. We don't have any tornado hunter planes, do we? We have hurricane hunters, but we don't have tornado hunters. I'm not sure. I think because, I don't know. Maybe because there's more hail, because thunderstorms have a significant updraft compared to hurricanes. So there's a lot more hail that they could fly into and destroy the plane. It's a good question, though. I know that we launch probes and everything into tornadoes, but we don't fly planes into them. So if you're tuning in a little bit late here, we've been on for about 90 minutes now, coming up on 90 minutes. We were talking about the ice potential over the next couple of days. What you look at in front of you is those winter weather advisories across Missouri, Iowa, Illinois. And then this system will move to the northeast and start impacting areas like Pennsylvania. I wonder if National Weather Service has updated their stuff yet. Oh, they did. Look at that. So this is through 6 p.m. tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. So you can see the National Weather Service is kind of showing the heavier stuff to be back in central Illinois. Again, through, yeah, I'm really tired today. I don't know what's going on with me. Probably the cold outside. Just central Illinois, though. This is according to the National Weather Service through 6 p.m. tomorrow. You get your pockets of heavy snow. Definitely being right through here is the area of concern. That's why I'm thinking tomorrow I'll probably shoot west on State Road 26 and be in that area of ice potential within an hour or two. So it won't be very far of a drive for me. Dip in there, find some area that I can sit and watch the craziness unfold. I will probably live stream for you guys tomorrow as well on YouTube in the middle of the ice storm. So if you're from this region, Illinois, you can turn in live tomorrow or just watch in general. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's a weekend, so that's kind of good. Earlier, I thought it was Friday or Thursday today. I thought tomorrow was Friday. I was talking about school closings, and someone was like, "It's already Friday, Zach." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So luckily, no school tomorrow because it's a weekend. So you won't have to worry about kids being on school buses in the afternoon where this ice is starting to accumulate, which is good. I remember back when I was in high school, we had an ice storm, and back then, they were like there was no online courses, so they were really hesitant on letting you stay home because they knew they were going to have to make those days up, and it was going to be a nightmare. Nowadays, there's online schooling, so they can send, they can send kids home and it not be a problem. But we had a big ice storm at my high school when I was like a sophomore, and knocked all the power out. We had to get on the school buses and ice, and it was just terrible. They forced most of the drivers to drive on main highways. They wouldn't let them take back roads, so the parents had to come and meet you off a main highway. They would not allow you, because my parents lived on like a back road, like in the middle of nowhere type of deal. So the school buses wouldn't come out that far because they didn't plow them or didn't salt them that far deep into the country. So it's kind of a nightmare. But this is through 6 o'clock tomorrow, where that ice is expected. It will then continue up towards the northeast. Some models like the NAM are pushing lots of ice potential across areas like Pennsylvania and New York State. So as you can see here, it's showing heavy ice through here, according to the NAM. But the HER, which I think is just based on Illinois' totals, according to the NWS, is a little bit more accurate. You're getting still some pretty decent ice across much of Pennsylvania, pockets of it across New York State, especially up in the upstate portion of, again, back in southern New York, western Connecticut, with the potential for some heavy snowfall. So a pretty wide area has the potential for seeing some ice tomorrow. So let's wrap up some final questions here. Any ice in Missouri? Yeah, there is a hold on. So winter weather advisories do extend into Missouri. Winter weather advisories include this portion of Missouri right here, all the way down through St. Louis. So if you're anywhere within this portion of Missouri, you have the potential to see some ice tomorrow. As you can tell, it's pretty low amounts except for right here on the river. And then it doesn't really ramp up until it gets into Illinois. I can't really tell if that's going to bump with the NAM or if that's going to bump with the HER. I guess it's kind of, I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I think it's staying a little bit further south is what the HER, and that's what the HER was calling for, but we'll see. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. What about school buses for athletic trips tomorrow in Missouri leaving at 5 a.m., such as Columbia? I think you guys will be fine that far south. Columbia is tucked back here a little bit. I think you guys would be okay. It just depends which way you're going, too. If you're going up towards the northeast, you might be driving into some ice potential. But if you're going away from the northeast part of the state, you'll be okay. Freezing rain in New York City, yeah, it's possible. Not too much, but it's possible. We'll update accordingly tomorrow. Again, guys, if you're not a part of that Discord chat, that's the best thing you could possibly be a part of. It's absolutely free. You get in there and you are able to chat with all of us in here. I see some new people joined. But you have information that's posted like this. Here are snowfall totals that were posted by Matt earlier. Definitely an overperformance there in the Northeast, I think. Areas are pushing 13 inches in some of those areas. But you get information like this. And then I put out some forecast maps earlier as well. That's in that Discord chat. I even put out ice event possible earlier that people on live stream didn't get to see, obviously, because, well, now you did, but not on time. So you can get in there, you can join all that and stay up to date with the weather and events going on. Okay, so here's an update here from National Weather Service St. Louis. Thanks, Len, for posting this. Areas along and north of I-70 in Missouri and I-64 in Illinois will experience light ice accumulations. Expect icing to occur on untreated roads, bridges, and overpasses. Right, so you know those signs always say ice freezes on bridge before road. That's exactly what they're meaning here, right? So you gotta expect the ice to be there tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're gonna log out for the night. I'm going to continue forecasting, but there's not much to really talk about. But I want to come in here for an hour and a half and get everybody's attention on tomorrow. We'll update more tomorrow morning. It being a Saturday, some of you should be home. So I'll update again tomorrow morning on the ice. And then before I head out and start getting into my target area, I'll probably be somewhere right in here, right where that pink is there tomorrow. Depending if I wake up and it's different, I might find myself somewhere else. But that's where I'm targeting originally, probably west of Watseka, Illinois, probably in the Streeter, Illinois area. That seems like a good place to be. So that's where you'll find me. But until tomorrow, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, make sure you ask them in the comments after the video has been posted onto YouTube, as well as joining the Discord, and you can get in here and ask any questions you want. But thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Zach Walters.